Trying this again. Well, I'm going to talk anyway. Whether anyone joins or not, I don't know. I've given everybody sufficient time. So, what I really wanted to talk about and what I've noticed is that I was in a discussion about something else, and it was about that we were talking about how we tell each other that we're beautiful, especially adult women, and that it doesn't matter what we look like. But yet, when we go to tell our youth that, it's really hard for them to understand when they are constantly bombarded with social media, with other kids at school, and the most popular kids tend to be female. And this is going to be controversial, and I really don't care. They tend to be fair skin toned and female, like I said. It's not, young boys who may like makeup, which is fine, which is 2000 and freaking 19, which it should be if that's what they want to do. Hey, they're not hurting anybody. Um, and it's to get that message home that they are beautiful, and it's us fighting the media and societal norms in other kids in these magazines and some of these makeup companies who are just going to females, just catering to females, period, and children that are overweight, children who might have acne, children who are disabled. And as parents, or as grandparents, as I'm a grandparent now, trying to tell our youth that yes, they are beautiful, they are loved, but then when they leave the home, they're getting a totally different image. And there's so much going on in the world. You figure by the time that child becomes a teenager, that they've been bombarded with television, they've been bombarded with Netflix, commercials, ads, all of that. And that's so much. I mean, you're maybe a single parent. I was for a long time, you know, and it's not until you get later in your life. I mean, I still have daughters who are in their early 20s who don't think they're beautiful. And, for a long time, it took me a long time because there were maybe four of us in my school. I'm Native American, you know, who there were maybe four of us Native American children in our school. And we actually ran around telling everybody we were Italian. I'm not Italian. But we said that just so that we wouldn't get picked on, because we were different. Now, can you imagine? I can't imagine somebody who has a real dark skin tone, which is beautiful, and getting maybe getting some flack at home. And I think that's wrong. And having cars stacked against them. Or a young male who's wanting to wear makeup. And maybe they live in a small town and these things, being picked on and being made fun of. And I don't think that's right. I don't understand why people just can't be people and kids can't be kids. But I'm going to keep this short because I believe I'm the only one here, and that's okay. I don't mind talking to myself. Y'all know that. As adults, what we need to do is our voice matters. We need to speak up. We need to come together as a whole And we can talk to these companies. We can boycott these companies. Our dollar goes a long way. We don't have to spend money with companies who aren't inclusive, you know. And one of the things that was mentioned on this other channel was this woman had mentioned, the whole issue of popularity. And kids are really into that whole popularity thing, and it affects them if they're not. I mean, and we need to reinforce to them, as long as they have maybe one friend, that that's okay. And I know I'm just sitting here rambling, but I don't care. We need to just reinforce that to them. And like I said, being a Native American, growing up, there was 4 of us. And we were like a group. We took in numbers, strength in numbers. But they have so much to deal with, The world is a crazy place. I mean, back when we were kids, and maybe if you are younger than me, we worried about nuclear war and Russia and stuff like that. But now they're worried about school shootings and, you know, things being blown up. We didn't have to worry about that. So you figure worrying about self-image and all of these other things on top of it. So we really, really, really need to get this message across to our children and reinforce to our children that they're beautiful no matter what they look like. And like I said, the way to do that is to be vocal, and to be vocal to these companies. And if we have to, boycott these companies until they become inclusive, and change the whole thing about weight, change the whole thing about skin tones, just change everything, even about the differently abled. Because how many Victoria's Secret models are overweight? None. How many Victoria's Secret models are transgender or anything like that? None. Zero. Zip. And like I said, it's 2019. It's time to wake up. People are here to stay. The average size isn't size 2 anymore. And these makeup companies need to wake up too. The average color anymore is not fair skinned. And I'm sorry if I'm making some of you out there angry. You have to look at it this way. We're not all fair skinned anymore. And that needs to stop. So to Fenty, my hat's off to Fenty for their skincare line. My hat's off to Morphe, even though I think your product sucks. But still, my hat's off to you. You're at least trying to be inclusive of everyone. And with that, I'm going to end because I'm not getting any questions, so I really can't comment. But just know, the biggest things that we can teach our children and teach ourselves is to love ourselves, accept ourselves, and the most important thing that we can teach ourselves and our children is confidence. And once you have that confidence, can't nothing stop you. Can't nobody stop you. Doesn't matter what you look like, what you weigh. If you're differently abled, it does not matter. So from my home to yours, I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Hey, I see you there, but I can't see your comments. So let me see if I can get your comments to come up. Let's see here. No, I'm not leaving, honey. I didn't see you before, Real Makeup. You just got here. Thank you. I've been talking to myself for 10 minutes. No, I'm not leaving. Can you hear me? I'm not leaving.
Go on.
I know, you just got here. Thank you.
What?
You just got here.
Go on, Fat Boys.
So, no, I'm not going to leave as long as somebody's here.
What? Did you get the other Fat Boy? Yes.
But I appreciate you coming. I was talking about how we can make a difference in youth, in young children's lives. Whether they're differently abled or overweight, or if they're a young male that maybe likes to wear makeup, or thank you, it is a great topic, because these kids today have so much to deal with that we didn't have to. We didn't have to deal with school shootings. We didn't have to deal with things being blown up. You know, we didn't have to deal with those fears. So they have self-image to deal with along with all of this other stuff. So what I had been talking about was, how do we help them with self-image with all of this going on? And how do we need to remain vocal to these companies and to use our money wisely, whether we need to boycott or whatever we need to do, so that they tend to become more inclusive for everyone. You know, it's hard enough for us to tell each other we're beautiful, but it's harder to get through to a child or a teenager. It's a lot harder. But no, as long as you're here, honey, I'm here. It does start at home. It definitely does start at home. The thing is once these children leave home and they're at school and they're getting picked on and they're getting bombarded by media that we don't always see. You know, you can't see everything on your kid's phone. You can't. So what they're shown is, and I really don't know how to put this except to be blunt, because I'm kind of a blunt person. It's really skinny, really light-skinned people who, yeah, I agree. I agree. But like I was saying earlier, there were 4 of us in the school who were Native American. And we were so scared that we ran around and told everybody we were Italians, just so we wouldn't get picked on. But it does definitely needs to start at home. But see, I was on another chat, and what we were talking about, it does start at home, and we can tell them. But once they get out into the real world, we're not there to tell them. So, you know, what do you do then? You know, especially when they start to get a little older, cliques start forming. Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to type fast. I'll wait. It could be my phone. It could be I'm doing this on a phone. So that could be it. But oh, okay. It could be my network provider. I live out in the middle of the country. I live out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, okay. I've never gone live before. This is my first time, so that could definitely be it. But this is just, like I said, a topic that I know that I went through as a kid. Hi, Summer. How are you, honey? If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. You're good. I'm glad to hear you're good, Summer. But no, I just, you think today's kids, okay? You think they're too spoiled? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I understood your first message. I'm pretty good with everything. Some of them are. Some of them really are too spoiled. But some of them aren't. Like I said, some of them are still getting picked on. They do. I didn't have all that. I didn't have all that. I grew up in an age we didn't have cable. So, but they're still kids. I mean, I still worried about them. Yeah, and part of the problem they're spoiled is we've spoiled them. That is true. A lot of the ones who are spoiled pick on the other kids. They do. That's true. A few carrots. There was a time where we ate beans all the time. I hate beans to this day. Well, that's how I am. That's probably why I'm a bigger girl because I wasn't always big. But you're probably right about the spoiled kids do pick on the kids that have less, and it. I think it's always been like that because if you don't have the right clothes and you don't have the best of the best and you don't look a certain way, you are going to be you're going to be the object. You're going to be the object of a lot of ridicule or whatever. I was always the youngest out of all the cousins, so I got everybody's hand me downs. Oh, my youngest will be 20 in March. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of kids. I have a lot of kids. I even did foster kids. I even have grandchildren. So I'm starting with my grandchildren, especially my granddaughters, of telling them not. It is nice. It is nice to foster kids, and most of them that I got, and I call them, and I hate to even say this, were teenagers. They were like problematic, and they ended up basically being tossed aside. It's not like they hadn't gotten bad trouble to that point yet, but their parents couldn't deal with them, and they just tossed them out. So I took them in. But somebody's got to take care of the kids, and all of them are doing well. So I'm blessed in that. I try to be. I'm not always nice. I mean, I'm not always nice. I can be quite blunt if I have to be. But like I said, you're typing. You're typing just fine, so I can understand you, and that's what counts. But like I said, original topic is to help these kids who are having trouble, who are not the popular kids, or how it was put, the spoiled kids, or the, you know, those children. How do we help them once they leave the home? How do we help them? What do we do? That's my question to you. What do we do as adults? Because most of us have been through it. Some of us haven't. Most of us have. Like I said, I have. So it's, where do we go from there? You can't help them. Right, once they live in the house. But I'm talking more like the teenage years. Those crucial teenage years, where, when we were talking earlier, the kids with all the fancy clothes and everything like that. Then you have the children who may not have that, and the children who, for whatever reason, maybe overweight, maybe not have the right whatever, and it shouldn't matter if they don't have the right clothes, right makeup, whatever. But how do we give them that confidence? Because if you have confidence, that other stuff doesn't matter. And I know confidence comes with time. That's exactly true. And I did that too. But a lot of times, some kids, you said come to the safe place when they get home. Some children, though, after going through it for so long, they don't want to bring it up anymore. And that breaks my heart. That really breaks my heart. You know, it does. So it's to, what can we do as adults? You know, like I said, can we maybe be more vocal to companies to show differently abled people, to show uh, maybe people who are a little weightier in companies? Can we show different skin tones? Can we show uh, boys and girls? I'm looking at that type of viewpoint. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So that's where I'm trying to think from. Okay. I know I'm thinking too.
Good morning.
You know, that's some of my kids in the background. I mean, what do we do? Because we still have companies out there who still have skincare lines and color shades that only go to a certain amount and then it stops. What about everybody else? There's nothing. It's not inclusive. That's how I'm thinking, you know. And I think that's where our money comes in, our voices come in. I mean, what is that telling? Anything for themselves and not to look at the media how to be. Well, that is true to teach them to think for themselves and you know how to be. But like I said, once they're away from you, you can push as much knowledge into a child's head, but once they're away from you, they're surrounded by a group of peers and children and different things. And unfortunately, a TV that's sending certain signals to them, you know, and now they have internet and they have all kinds of things that are just cramming things at them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can only monitor so much. So, like I said, where do we go? And like I said, this make it not, and I'm not just talking about girls. I'm talking about girls and boys. Because like I said, you know, and that's probably might make some people mad, but it is 2019, and children are going to do what they're going to do, and I'm not going to shove somebody away just because that's their choice they made or that's how they are. I'm not going to even say it's a choice because why would you choose that, especially if you're a different gender? I wouldn't choose that. That's just how you are. Why would you choose, say you're a boy who likes makeup? Why would you choose that? That's like choosing hell for yourself. You don't choose that. So it's how do we basically it's changing this whole worldview and trying to change a lot of these companies. I don't know. I'm trying to see how y'all think. This is how I think. That's true. A few generations may need to pass to change the perspective because we still got people who are real old school out there. We still got real old school people out there, and this is relatively new to them, which is sad, but it's relatively new. So you know, I really hope it doesn't take a few generations because that's you're thinking, you know, that's a long time. Most people live what's the average age? And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the average lifespan is what 75 now. That's a long time. Hey Tammy, how are you? But I'm just, you know, I'm just thinking of our children, you know. Because, like I said, they have enough on their plate. Worry about getting shot at school and bombings and all that. And then they have this self-image to worry about. So, you know, and you're right. Makeup, it may take a few generations, and that's sad. That is really sad. What do you think, Miss Tammy? I don't know. Y'all weigh in, because I'm just one voice. I just know where I'm going to spend my money, where I'm not going to spend my money. Okay, you haven't been here for the whole comment. Okay, let me fill you in real fast, Sammy. I'm talking about our children have enough to worry about. Okay, buy makeup. I love ya. What I'm talking about, Tammy, is our youth today and how it's different from when we were young. And we didn't have to worry about school shootings and, terrorism, basically. So they're having to worry about that, along with going through self-image. And say you may be overweight. Say you may be differently abled. Say that you may be, your skin tone may not be right. So you end up, or say you're a boy that likes makeup. So you end up getting picked on at school. And no matter how beautiful we tell our children that they are, how smart, how whatever, they end up getting picked on. Because once they leave home, there's nothing that we can do. Once they leave home, they go to school. So, I mean, what do we do to help them? Punch them in the throat. We can't just run around punching kids in the throat. Oh my God, I love you. We can punch them in the throat. No, my thing was more like, how I'm thinking is we need to be more vocal. Not the kids, the bullies. Why not? Because I think we need to be more vocal to companies. I think, because, and an example I used earlier was Victoria's Secret models. How many overweight Victoria's Secret models do you see? 0. How many transgender Victoria's Secret models do you see? 0. 0. Have you ever seen, say, a Native American Victoria's Secret model? I haven't. So that's the image that's getting pushed onto our youth. So, we can't monitor everything they see. So my whole thing was that as adults, we can tell our kid, these company markets people's money as long as people. Exactly. So, exactly. That they, right. The money. And I'm not just talking about Victoria's Secret, so I'm talking about makeup companies that stop at certain shades, and they'll say, oh, this is just, hey, you women. They don't include males. They don't say, hey, you all. So my thing is, I think we need to be, as parents, we need to be more vocal. And I'm not saying like go throat punch anybody or like cuss them like a dog. I'm not saying that to throat punch people or cuss them like a dog. I'm saying we need to be more vocal to these companies. And also, like what you said, is where we spend our money. Because if we're not giving the companies this money, then they're going to have to change. But it has to be enough of us to do this that they want to change. I don't know, y'all weigh in. Oh, exactly. We didn't, exactly. They do have to deal with a lot more different things. We didn't have to worry about somebody walking into our school with a gun, going to shoot everybody. We didn't have to deal with that. We did not have to deal with that. We did not have to deal with, say, we're going to a concert or something like that, and somebody coming in there and going crazy. We didn't have to deal with that. The only people who went crazy were the people at the concert. You know? Right? We do have to teach them that life isn't fair. We do have to teach them that. But my point is, or these kids that get bullied and picked on because of maybe weight or being differently abled, or you know somebody who's of a different gender who wants to wear makeup, or somebody who's a different gender and wants to be a boy. Exactly. It is hard to boycott a company because enough people don't follow suit. I really do agree with that. So, I mean, it is hard. It's very, very hard. But this all started from, I was in another chat room and somebody mentioned, I don't know either. That's why I went live, hoping to get some answers. Because I don't have them. I wish I did. If it was up to me, I'd be like you, Tammy. I'd go and throat punch people. But I can't. There's too many people. And even if we went in as a pair and throat punched everybody, there's not enough of us. That's all we'd be doing all day is throat punch people. We don't have enough gas money to run around and throat punch everybody. Security in jail would get us eventually. Wouldn't they? Sorry about that. I had to get a drink. But, I mean, we can do our best at home. And that's all we can do is keep reinforcing. But my worry is once they go to school or that type of thing. I love you too, girl. We'll figure something out. Might take a couple generations. I see somebody's still hanging with me. Yep. Okay. Well, since you're gone, I'm going to go too and try to ponder this a little bit more and not throat punch nobody. Okay, now I'm going to get off for now. Don't throat punch nobody. I have bail for you if you need it, but don't throat punch nobody. Bye, girl. Okay, y'all, that's all I have for you today. Okay. I thought you were going. Oh God, I gotta mess with you. Okay, y'all, that's all I have for you today. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment, anything like that for me. Just know that I love y'all and I'm trying to look out for everyone's best interest. So from my home to yours, I love ya and I'll see y'all later. Bye.